Hello. Welcome to When I Have Spare Time podcast. I'm going to do a unlisted one right now. Basically, I made a separate playlist, called it the 119, the 199 unlisted podcast. I'll record this and then, make it available, like public, like weeks later. But anyway, this is just was on my feed, so I'll play it as I talk. This has nothing to do with what I want to say. I just had a revelation. I play a lot of video games, right? But you know what? I don't need sound on this, do I? Yeah, turn the sound off. It's like two Japanese chicks working out, and like they have almost like 600K subs. Yeah, I have no chance. Anyway, I think I'm done with battle passes. And I know you're like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about first world problems. Video games that have battle passes are are like having a second job or a third job, whatever. And it's like you have, at least with me, you get this unnecessary. Well, okay, if you spent money on the battle pass, you kind of feel like you have to use it, right? Because they don't last forever. And I just caught myself, like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. This is why I'm doing this. I was like looking at my Steam, and there was like, I think, four games on there that I had bought a battle. Not, I bought a battle pass, but they were one of them was with in-game currency that you got like when you first got the game. So so I guess let's don't count that one. But I still bought the game. It came with it. So I still spent money on it. But anyway, and then there's another one that I think I spent like $10 on a battle pass. And then another one, yeah. So there's like, I think, three games I spent $10 on a battle pass, and then that one I got with the game, but I had to buy the game anyway. And so I'm like, oh wait, I wonder how much longer I have on the battle passes, because I'm looking at the Steam and I'm like, oh okay, that one, that one, that one. I'm like, and I felt this pressure, like, do I have to spend 5 hours today and like make sure I complete these battle passes because I don't like wasting money. Like, no one likes. Well, you shouldn't like wasting money. I mean, hell, like the way the economy has been, well, the past, guy, like the economy literally started going bad Biden's second day in office. I'm not exaggerating. Look it up. The economy started taking a turn for the worse Biden's second day in office. So if you're someone who still thinks like, oh yeah, I can just waste all this money, then I guess your life is pretty good, and I'm glad you have that, you know, option. But yeah, I was just like, I don't want to feel like the video game I'm playing is a job. Like, I just want escapism, and that's why obviously you can look at sales, look at which games sell, and all of these, lots of games with battle passes do sell, but I'm saying, like, look at which games sell, and it's the games that focus on escapism, meaning there's no modern day messaging. Obviously, there's no gay stuff, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, the characters are characters; they're not identities. So like, if you have a character, it doesn't matter height, race, blah blah blah. But imagine, let's just go with height. Imagine if a character, like, in the game is like, whatever, 6 feet tall, and his whole personality is based on being 6 feet tall. Well, as a 6 foot tall person, I don't think we should do this. Or as a 6 foot tall person, I think I should get the machine gun, or and then insert anything. As a lesbian, I blah blah blah. Like, I view the world through the eyes of a lesbian. So it's kind of hard to see. There's a lot of vagina blocking the way. So it just gets old, it gets tiring, and you can't relate to that person because if you're a regular person, like I'm a regular person. So when I think of myself, or like let's say like I look in the mirror, which I don't obviously, you can tell by the way I look, but let's just say like I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror. The first thing I think is like, oh man, like I wonder which, I wonder what time I should start drinking. Um, or or I might think, if I happen to think about myself, I'll be like, ah, you're a yeah, pretty toxic individual trying to talk to anyone today. But I don't go. I seriously, I don't talk about like I don't think about my sexuality. Like I don't go. Oh man, as a man who likes skinny Asian women of a fertile age. Yes, that's my sexuality. I like skinny Asian women of a fertile age. So, like, you would think I was crazy if I expressed my worldview like that. Okay? Like, well, as an Italian, you'd be like, what? So, it's like, I just don't want that in my video games either. But if you notice, those games don't sell. Look at all the games that have bombed over the past 4 years. They all have a couple of things in common. Some of them is the microtransactions in the live service. The battle pass is included in that because people don't like battle passes because battle passes. I'm not the first one who said this. If it feels like a job, and then they're limited time. Okay. But then add the battle pass and then add like all the identity politics and leftist messaging because it's never a right leaning video game. I mean like a major one because well you don't want politics in your video games anyway. So like like I don't want to play a video game where like you go to abortion clinics and like stop people from going in. I don't care. you know or even another way like and especially a left leaning game where like you take women to the abortion clinic so they can abort their 7-year old because that's how it should be. Yeah, but I'm just I know first world problems, but I was just like, dude, I'm just not playing games for battle passes anymore. And I know you're like, well, you don't have to buy it. It's just I don't want it in the back of my mind. But we'll see. But like, well, and actually, I have noticed now that there are games where the battle pass lasts like forever, and if you don't finish it, you can go back. So that's a little different. But I'm just talking about like right now, just like the average battle pass is like, oh, it's a second job because and I was referring to games like that. I think one of the games was Stranova. It's a really good game. It's like a hero shooter, but um, I don't want to play it because I feel like I have to play it for a battle pass. You know. And then I've been playing Marvel Rivals. Now I know Marvel Rivals has a battle pass, but I haven't spent a dime on Marvel Rivals. But the difference between Marvel Rivals is, even though it has a battle pass, the women in the game are very attractive. So I'm not even worried about the battle pass because I'm completely satisfied. I fact I haven't even. The only reason why I have looked at the battle pass because I had to click on it to go to the next menu because like it kind of made you what it didn't kind of it made you look at the battle pass. But I'm like, I don't care what's on. I clicked it and I just like got it off the screen because like I'm completely satisfied with all these Marvel Rivals characters. I'm like, dude, these are top notch babes and manly men. Like I don't mind being any of these characters on Marvel Rivals. And then like, and that's what happened with Overwatch too, because like Overwatch made the big mistake of making like almost not almost, but making like 30% of the characters gay. You're like, dude, what is going on in this world? And so you're playing and you're like, oh wait, that's a gay character, and it takes away from the experience. And then in June, in Overwatch, they change all the maps to rainbows. It's like, dude, I don't give a shit. And it's like I like skinny Asian girls of a fertile age. What makes you think I want to see this gay shit? And that's the main reason why I stopped playing Overwatch, was because of like all the identity politics in it. Like, if you have a bio of your character in a video game, in a hero shooter, and like, you know, his or her sexuality's part of it, like, what are you doing? That shows you you're not even working on the gameplay. You're working on, like, I don't know what you're working on. But if you think I'm gonna play this game because Tracer is a muff diver, I'm not. In fact, I'm gonna play her less because I'm gonna be so distracted being Tracer. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, she like likes chicks. Why do I even know this about a video game character? It makes no sense. I don't know how I started with battle passes and ended up on this, but anyway. So yeah, indie games are great because you know, I or at least with indie games, there's so many options that you can avoid it, and also you don't have to buy AAA games. So you know, I think the last time I bought a AAA game was Overwatch 2. Yeah, and it was, and I know you're like it's free, but like I bought, it was like early access. It was like, I don't know what it's called. It was like, like to be an alpha tester, actually. I think, yeah, I think it was to be an alpha tester, and you could pay. I know, what am I doing? Why am I paying to be an alpha tester? It's just, at the time they they had a tolerable amount of wokeness in the game, and I didn't have any other options of a hero shooter. And also, I'm really good at the game, so like when you win a lot, you kind of want to keep playing. But then, so it was like $40, and so I got to play the game months before anyone else. Okay, and then because of that $40, I got all that in-game currency, and that was the battle pass I was talking about. Because I'm like, technically, whatever, but yeah, like, and I stopped playing Overwatch. God, it was, now when I say stop, because I used to play like all day. So like when I like really stopped was when they made an announcement that Farah and one of the black guys, I forgot his name. It's been so long since I played, but Farah and like it was basically they made two of the black, because like Farah's Egyptian and then this other guy, he's like from the Caribbean. They made them both gay. They're just, you can't have one positive black role model. And even though Egyptians don't call themselves black, and I don't blame them, hell, I don't call myself black either. But it's just funny, like, hey, we have these black characters, and you know how kids look up to these video game characters. Adults, like, I don't, but kids look up to these characters. So how many little black kids? Because everyone it's like, I can only like someone of my certain color, like like those people. I'm just talking about those people. The average person doesn't, but there's a group of people that does that. So now they had this hero, and it's just little kids in general. Like, you don't have to be black to like them, but just little kids in general who like these characters. Remember, there's comic books, like they make it very kid accessible, even though it's not supposed to be for kids. But kids play this game. So now you got these two black characters are now gay. So now you have these little kids, like, you just turned my hero, okay. And then when they first made someone gay in the game was Soldier, and you play on the headset, and we had a group of about 20 people that we rotate, we'll all play together, like in a semi regular basis. And like, I want to say a good chunk of them, like 30% were kids. And like and like the kids were embarrassed to play Soldier because Soldier was gay. And like some of them were like, well, does that make me gay if I like Soldier? I'm like, imagine being a parent and having to have this conversation. Why is a video game, like, why is this hero shooter even have to have sex in it? And it shows you the people in charge are evil, because even though it's rated whatever T for teen, kids play. A lot of kids play Overwatch, and it was evil of them to inject all that bullshit into the game. And like, whoever was in charge of that, I bet you any amount of money that person is a Satanist. I bet you, like, if you looked at his hard drive or her hard drive, or looked on his bookshelf, I bet you there's like a book of Satan and whatever. They're probably sacrificing cats. But anyway, yeah, I've said enough, and I'm getting too distracted from these hot Japanese babes, and I'm cooking food, so I will knock it off. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.